Nice. So I invite you all to join me in centering ourselves. So sit away from the back of whatever chair you're on. Line up your knees with your hips or even a little bit wider. Line up the outer edges of your feet so they're parallel. And it might be easier since you don't have a mat now to line up the big toes so they're parallel, because that usually means that the outer edges are also parallel. Relax your hands any way that's comfortable for you on your thighs. Line up your nose and your chin with your belly button. And feel as though your sacrum, the top of your sacrum, which is in the back, is gently pulled forward. And now I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or get a gentle, soft gaze if closing your eyes is not what you want to do. And I invite you to scan your mind, body, spirit from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, to notice without judging anything what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. How are you today? Asking yourself and noticing all that there is, the good, the bad, the ugly, the uncomfortable, the comfortable, the strong, the needing help, all of those things, just checking in to feel how you feel. And now I invite you to ask yourself, what would I like to receive from yoga today? What would I like to receive from yoga today? Let all the answers come. And now choose the one that seems to best fit for you right now, right here, right now. Place that one thing behind your heart and allow it to radiate with your intention and attention. Let it radiate to the crown of your head, the soles of your feet, the tips of your fingers, so that your whole self becomes alive with your intention for our practice. And now notice your breath. Notice where you experience your breath coming into the body. Notice where it goes once it comes into the body. Notice the path that it follows on the way out. And notice where you experience it as you're breathing out. And feel the waves of your breath. Your inhales, your exhales, feel the rhythm. And you're just noticing. You're becoming the witness of your breathing. We want to bring mindfulness to all we do. Because with that mindfulness, we're able to send messages to the brain daily, moment by moment, of what we would like the body to do, what we intend for the body to do. And remembering that even when the body can't do exactly the way we want it to, it's getting the message that this is where we're moving in the direction of. This is where we're headed. We send electrical impulses with our thinking to the muscle groups that we want to engage. And by being aware, we're able to do that more readily and with greater success. So I invite you to open your eyes And see how this feels for you. You may need to move a little more forward in the chair. If your chair kind of goes down like this, which many of them do, you may need to move forward so that you're not sinking into that bowl of the chair. But what I'd like you to do is we're going to play with moving the pelvis. So we begin by rolling the pelvis so that we're forward of the sit bones. And now we'll move back to the center, which is over the sit bones. And then we'll roll back. So we're behind the sit bones. I'm going to turn sideways and I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit so that you know better what I mean. So right here, I'm on my sit bones. And when I roll forward of my sit bones, I don't know if you can tell, but there's an arch that comes. This is actually neutral spine. And then I roll back to sitting on the sit bones and it flattens out a little bit. And now I'm rolling behind the sit bones and now my back is really rounded. So I'm on my sit bones, I'm forward of my sit bones, which is where we want to be. I'm on my sit bones and now I'm behind my sit bones. So let's just play with that for a few breaths. Noticing as you move what's happening, mostly in your lower back, but if it affects the lower back, it's going to affect the whole back. If it affects one part of the body, it affects all the parts of the body. It's just the way it is. And when you finish the one you're on, I invite you to come forward of your sit bones. So now you're sitting with a neutral spine, which means that you have that curve, and that curve is unique to each of us, but you have that curve in your lower spine. And I'd like you to look at your feet, because what tends to happen is that our feet start to sickle. And when we do that, we put a lot of pressure on the outside edges of the ankles, or on the outer ankles. And so let's begin today by bringing the feet to be firm to the earth. And I like to think of it as a couple things happening. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. And then the fifth spot is the top of the heel, does that make sense? So what we're aiming to do is press those 4 corners down and keep them down, and then bring our awareness to the top of the heel, the top front of the heel. I don't quite know what to call that. So now what happened to your pelvis? So let's see if we can do both at the same time. Be sitting forward of the sit bones. So we have that beautiful neutral spine, the beautiful arch in our back, and pressing the feet down. And I hope you have your stick nearby, because I didn't think to tell you to do that before we started. So you see, this is my walking stick. Is this not awesome? But it is now. I really like the one I had from Boy Scouts, but what the heck. So let's just rest it on our thighs for now, whatever stick you're using. If you're using a towel because you don't have your stick nearby, let's play with that and see what we can make happen. So let's come forward to the sit bones. Let's check the feet. And we'll begin with a couple of shoulder rolls without lifting or doing anything with the stick. We're just going to let it sit there. So inhale the shoulders forward and up, and exhale them back and down. Inhale them forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Inhale them forward and up. And exhale them back and down. And now let's hold the stick so that our hands are even with our shoulders. And breathe in. And when you breathe out, slowly push it forward. Extend your arms as best you can. And now elbows close to the side. Bring that stick back in toward your chest. Exhaling, reaching out. Inhaling, reaching it in. Exhaling, pushing it forward. Inhaling, bringing it in. And now we're going to reverse the breathing because I'd like you to choose which one makes more sense for you. So breathe in here. And when you exhale, push it forward. Wait, did we just do that? We just did that. So inhaling, push it forward, and exhaling, bringing it back in. Let's try that one more time. Inhaling, exhale. Oh my God. Reverse your breathing. Paula is clearly having a hard time. This is what sleepless nights do with a new puppy. Just do the exact opposite of what you just did so that you're breathing the other way than you did. And now bring it back in and relax your hands down. Just rest the stick on your thighs. Give your body a chance to integrate what you've done. If you want, bring your shoulders forward a little bit and then roll them back down. You do that one more time and just notice as you do that what you feel in your neck and your shoulders and your arms and your upper back. And now bring this forward. Open your hands so they're a little bit wider than your shoulders. Inhale, reach your hands up over your head and hold on to the stick. If you need your hands wider, go ahead and do that. And now just let them go back a little bit. It doesn't have to be far. Breathe in here. Notice what's happening with your spine and your pelvis. Bring your hands forward and down and notice your feet. Bring your awareness back to your feet and find those four corners. And find your sit bones and sit forward of them. And now bring your arms up over your head again. You're breathing in. Let them go back a little bit. And breathing out, bring them forward and down. Breathing in, up and back just a little bit. And then come back down and pause. So now, hold the stick so that your left palm is facing up. And let your right hand support the stick as best it can. If your hand that's up there is the arm that tends to need more help, let this help it. Let it support. If it's the other way around, then let the hand that's up here support the one that's down below. But notice what's happening with your pelvis. Find your center again. You might have to bring the opposite buttock back down toward the chair. I know when I come over to the side, I tend to lift that one, and we want to bring the pelvis so that it's still in line. So now let that come down. Switch sides. Oh, now I'm shedding all over the place. And reverse it. Adjust your hands as you need to. Let the stick support you. Let whichever hand and arm is stronger support the pose for you. Notice your pelvis. Shift your weight back to both buttocks as you need to. And make sure that you're sitting forward of your sit bones. Breathe in here. And on the exhale, let's come back down. And we'll pause right here. And we'll reverse it again. We'll do it one more time on each side. So as you lift, do whatever you need to do to adjust, to allow you to raise the one arm, supporting the stick, breathing, noticing your pelvis, noticing your feet, pushing down those four corners, sitting forward of your sit bones, and now breathe out and bring the stick back down to your lap. Switch hands again and come back up, adjusting in whatever way you need to, checking that buttock. Did it lift? If it lifted, put it down. If it didn't, good for you. Great awareness. This is all about awareness as well as building strength. And strength comes from ease. So let's bring the stick back down, relax our hands, I forgot where I was going. So now what I'd like you to do is find the way, and just play with this for a little bit. Find the place where you need to hold the stick in order for you to lift it up and let your hands go to the side. We're practicing for our Christmas show. This is for our tap dancing segment where we have our cane. Now bring it forward, breathe in, breathe out, bring it to the opposite side. Breathe in forward, breathe out, breathe in forward, breathe out. Now I have to bend my right arm because I'm having issues with my shoulder. So you don't have to bend your arm if you don't need to. And then just bring it to the side. And now bring it forward one more time and relax it on your legs, on your lap. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling your hands up over your head. Exhaling this time, let it go as far back as you can. Check in with your pelvis, check in with your feet. Breathe in one more time. And when you exhale, bring it forward. Bring one side up, one side down. Keep your hands where they are this time. Bring it back to the center. Exhale to the opposite side. So you're using your arms a little bit differently in this position because you haven't changed your hands like we did last time. Back to the center. Exhaling to the opposite side. Inhaling to the center. Exhaling up and down. Inhaling to the center. Exhaling opposite side up and down. Inhaling to the center. Relax your hands, relax the stick on your lap. Let yourself breathe in and out, noticing whatever there is to notice. Check in with your feet, check in with your pelvis. Inhale. When you exhale, bring it to just below your chin so it's even with your shoulders again. Breathe in, breathe out, push it forward. Breathe in, breathe out, bring it back. Breathe in, breathe out, push it forward. Breathe in, breathe out, bring it back and down. Change your hands. So now the palms are facing up. Bring it in front of your chest. Breathe in. On the exhale, bring it forward as though you're serving something wonderful for Thanksgiving. Breathe in. On your exhale, bring it back toward you. Breathe in. Exhale, roll it forward. Breathe in. Exhale, bring it back. Breathe in. Exhale, bring it forward. And now this time, instead of bringing it back in, just let your arms drop in front of you. And bring your stick so that it's right in front of your feet. Take a breath in. When you exhale, gently, gently, gently turn your head to the left. Don't go far. Breathe in. When you exhale, bring it back to the center. Breathe in. Exhale, gently, gently. Don't go very far. Turn your head to the opposite side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring it back to the center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the first side again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to the center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the opposite side. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come back to the center. And let's just put the stick now to the side. Dust yourself off if you need to. And just pause right here. Check in with your pelvis. Sit forward of the sit bones. Make sure that you're sitting forward of the sit bones. Check in with your feet. Make sure that you're pressing those four corners down. And now inhale and reach your hands up as best you can. When you exhale, turn gently to the left side. Let your right buttock and leg come forward. Let your arms come down. Hold on to the back of the chair, the seat of the chair, with your back hand. And in this position, shift yourself forward a little bit if you need to on the right side. Breathe here and just notice what's happening. Notice your hands, notice your jaw, notice your shoulders, notice your ribs and your belly. Where are you holding tension here? And remember that just by bringing awareness to that body part gets to soften. Let it soften. If your right buttock is lifting off the chair, gently bring it back down. Not with a great deal of force, not with a ton of pressure, just so that it's not lifting up in order for you to twist. On the next inhale, reach your hands up, come back to the center. Exhale, let's go to the opposite side. Hold on to the seat of the chair with your right hand. Let your left knee and buttock come forward. Make sure you're still sitting forward of your sit bones. Make sure your feet are still four corners to the ground. And notice on this side what your body is feeling. Check in with your eyes, check in with your jaw, check in with your hands, your abdomen. Feel your breath working its way into your body, telling you you're worth the work. On the next inhale, hands up, come back to the center. Exhale, let your hands float down. Inhale your shoulders forward and up. Pause here for a breath in and a breath out. And another breath in. And on the next exhale, let your shoulders float back and down. And now just open and close your hands several times. And now keep them open, and let's just do one hand at a time. It doesn't really matter which hand you do because we'll do the opposite. But we're going to touch the tip of the thumb to the tip of each finger in succession 3 times. Starting with the pinky. And now, after you do the 3 times, you're going to touch the base of each finger, which is a little harder. And now just make a sweeping circle with your thumb over your palm. And relax that hand down. And we'll do the other hand. So first we touch the tip of each finger 3 times. And then we touch the base of each finger 3 times. And go ahead and look at your hand as you do that. Really bring your awareness, your presence into the moment. And now make sweeping circles with your thumb across the palm. 3 of them. And now release your hands. Inhale your shoulders forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Inhale them forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Inhale them forward and up. And exhale them back and down. And now let's turn to the right and sit so that we can soften the psoas so that our left buttock is off the chair. The back of our right knee is against the seat of the chair. The right hand is on the back of the chair, and the left knee is pointing down toward the ground, or some facsimile thereof. Go where your body will let you go. And now I invite you, just leave your left hand resting on your left leg, nose and chin in line with your belly button. Press the right buttock into the chair so that your pelvis is even, and sit forward of your right sit bone. And breathe. And remember that this is really meant to be a restoration of the softness of that muscle group, so that you can digest well, you can breathe well, you can move well. Breathe in and out. A couple more times. Aware of what you're feeling as you're feeling it. Anywhere in the body. It doesn't have to be just here, because remember, it's all connected. And now stretch your left leg out. Bring your left hand behind your left thigh and pull it in towards you. But now take your left hand inside and move the knee out as wide as you can. Lift your heart up. Reach your hands up to the sky. And if you feel like it helps you to do this with the stick, feel free to do it with the stick. If you don't want to bother with the stick and this is too much to have your hands over your head, just rest your hands on your head and breathe here. One more time, in and out. And now turn to face that front leg, so towards your left leg, and reach your arms out into a T. If this doesn't feel good to you, bring your hands down to your waist. Whatever works for you, but turn your chin toward your right shoulder and breathe in here and out. And now relax your hands wherever they are and bring yourself back to the center of your chair, to your seated mountain. So let's do it with awareness. You're sitting forward. You're sitting forward of your, it's forward on the chair. You're sitting forward of your sit bone so that you feel that curve in your lower back. Your feet are in line. Your four corners of your feet are pressing down, taking some of the pressure off of the outside edges of the ankles. And your nose and your chin are in line with your belly button. Let's close the eyes here for 3 breaths in and out. For what in Ayurveda is called a samana moment, a moment of pause so that the body, mind, spirit can harmonize itself, basically. And when you finish your 3rd exhale, open your eyes if they're closed. Turn yourself to the opposite side. Right buttock is off the chair. Back of the left knee is against the seat of the chair. That left foot is 4 corners on the floor. Your left arm is resting on the top of the back of the chair, and your right knee is pointing down toward the ground or somewhere like it. Keep your right arm relaxed. Press your left buttock into the chair to get your pelvis as even from side to side as it can be. And then roll forward of your sit bone. Line up your nose and your chin with your belly button. Close your eyes and visualize your breath moving in and out of that space, this time on the right side of your body. Visualizing softness. It's a real gift. Again, everything comes from ease. Whether we seek strength or balance or harmony or flexibility or peace, comes from finding and creating and cultivating ease. Now I invite you to open your eyes, stretch that right leg out to the side, but now take the hand behind the thigh, bring it forward. Now take your hand on the inside of that right leg and walk it out so that you're as close to 90 degrees or wider as you can be in this position. And inhale Reach your arms up, either keep them up or bring them to your head, but find your pelvis and make sure that you're sitting forward of your sit bones. Make sure that your feet are anchoring you to the earth, 4 corners worth. Breathe in. When you exhale, turn your upper body to face that right leg. Reach your arms out. Keep them here or bring them to your waist. Turn your chin toward your left shoulder and breathe in and out. And feel your strength. Feel your pelvis. You might, in this case, need to bring the right buttock down a bit, even though it's not on the chair. Just check in and see. And now breathe in, and on your next exhale, move yourself back to the center of your chair. Separate your feet so they're as wide or wider than the chair. This may make it easier for you to sit forward of your sit bones. See if it is, let me know. Make sure your feet have the 4 corners anchored. Breathe in, reach your hands up. Breathe out, turn gently to your left side, let your hands come down. Breathe in, reach your hands up. Come back to the center, breathe out, go to the other side, let your hands and arms come down. Flow with your breath. So rather than follow my instructions, let your breath lead you to each of the positions. Remember, yoga is not about making you or forcing you into the positions. It's about letting the positions, the poses, be an expression of you. And it's about the residual effect that they leave on your central nervous system. So when you've done each side evenly, let your hands come down. Let them rest on your thighs. Breathe in. And when you exhale, come to the toes of your left foot. And now bring that heel down. Inhale, exhale, come to the toes of your right foot. And bring that heel down. And now let's just alternate. First one foot, then the other foot. Notice what's happening in your toes. If you have arthritis in your toes, you may notice one side more than the other. And now, when you've done both sides evenly, heel toe your feet toward each other. And I'm going to invite you to come forward in your chair again so that you're sitting forward of your sit bones and you're not stuck in the bowl of your chair. And I know this isn't easily accessible, and I know that in the past I've always said, if you are up here doing this, don't do it. But we're doing this for a different reason today. So lift one ankle onto the opposite thigh. Even if you have to be here to do it, because what we're doing is taking your hands, your fingers of your right hand, starting with the pinky finger and the pinky toe, and bringing them in between the toes. So you may not be able to do anything other than put your fingers or rest your fingers on your toes, and that's a great place to start. If you do this every day over time, you will be able to bring maybe your fingers all the way down into the webbings of your toes. It's not necessarily a goal, but what that means is that you're relaxing your feet. So just let your fingers go wherever your feet can let them. And close your eyes, and for just 3 breaths in and out, visualize, humor me, visualize the space between your toes expanding to receive and welcome your fingers. Just for 3 breaths. And then we'll release our foot and hand, and we'll bring that foot down. Take your time. Bring the other ankle, and again, it's okay if you're up here for today because our point is to access your feet. So starting with the pinky toe, pinky finger, pinky toe, weave the fingers of your left hand in between your right toes or vice versa, depending on where you went. Only as far down into the webbing before there's pain. We don't need pain. Close your eyes, visualize the space between your toes expanding to receive and welcome your fingers. We don't pay a lot of attention to our feet, but our feet are our foundation, even when we're sitting. So we want to give them, and they're connected to everything, so we want to give them as much ease as possible. Release your fingers from your foot. Bring that foot down. Heel toe your feet out now so they're wider again than the chair. Relax your hands on your thighs. Roll your pelvis forward so that you're sitting forward of your sit bones. Line up your nose and your chin with your belly button. And I invite you to close your eyes and visualize the whole left buttock, hip, lower back, thigh area. And visualize your breath moving into and out of that area. Each time you breathe out, visualize the breath sweeping away the debris of negativity, of leftover anger, feelings of anger, frustration, new feelings of anger, frustration. Letting the breath sweep them away, clearing the space so that we have greater access to the beauty and the joy within us, which allows us to then experience more of the beauty and joy around us. We're not forcing the breath, we're simply, with our awareness, visualizing it, going into that space to help us let go of judgment, of criticism, of shaming. And now bring your awareness back to bringing your nose and your chin in line with your belly button. Making sure that that your pelvis is shifted forward so you're rolled forward of your sit bones, and bring your awareness to your other side. Buttock, thigh, lower back, hip area. Once again, visualizing the breath moving into that space. And visualizing it breathing out, the breath carrying away any negativity, any challenging emotions, anything that gets stuck there, crowding out the joy that we want to experience. And now bring your awareness to your hands and your wrists, and notice if you're clenching or holding tight or pushing your hands down into your legs, and see if you can let the hands let go and be supported by your thighs. And I invite you to breathe with me. First, breathing your normal breath in and out a few times. Once again, letting the breath bringing you into the present moment, into the here and now, into your body, into the space where it goes, spaces where it goes, where you experience it on the way in and on the way out. And now I invite you to breathe with me, breathing in for 4 counts, pausing for 4 counts, Breathing out for 4 counts, pausing for 4 counts, and then returning to your normal breath. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Breathing your normal breaths in and out. And when you're ready to join me, we'll breathe for 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normal breaths in and out. Notice your feet. Notice your pelvis. Notice your hands. Is there clenching anywhere in the body? And if there is, bring your awareness there so that it will soften in response to your awareness. This time we'll move to 6. And if 6 is not manageable and you end up gasping, just stop, go back to your regular breath, and then go back to the 4 or 5 that was more comfortable for you. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing your normal breaths in and out. Checking in with your pelvis, with your feet, with your hands, with your jaw. Bringing your awareness to any place that's gripping so that you might relieve some of the tension with your attention. Continuing to breathe your normal breaths in and out. And I invite you to choose one of those places in your body where you felt especially tight. And let your awareness settle there for the next several breaths, helping yourself release some of the tension, even if it's just a little bit, with your awareness and your breath and your focus. And now I invite you to heel toe your feet back toward each other, back toward your original mountain. If you still have your glasses on, because I forgot to remind you to take them off, now is a good time to do that. Rub your hands rigorously together to generate some heat. We really feel the warmth that you're creating with the friction of your hands. And very gently cup your hands over your eyes. And let's just pause right here for several breaths, relishing the warmth in the eyes, sockets, your cheekbones, your jawbone, all the way down to your heart. Fully present in that warmth. And now bring your awareness again and place a smile behind your eyes, behind your lips, behind your heart. And receive the softness that moves into your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Let's bring our palms together in front of our heart so that we might honor ourselves and each other with the word that's used throughout the Himalayas to say hello and goodbye, and which means the light that is me honors the light that is you. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Thank you again for letting